And another new project coming downtown. Find out what and where coming up.
Plus, the immigration battle continues as pressure mounts on President Trump to deal with separating families at the border.
And a popular Sarasota restaurant closing temporarily, how it will affect some neighboring businesses. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Our top story, President Trump continues to blame Democrats for his decision to implement a zero-tolerance policy at the U.S.-Mexico border. That's led to an estimated 2,000 children being separated from their families.
ABC's Janae Norman is in Washington with the ongoing battle over undocumented immigrants crossing into the U.S.
It's the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy that's resulted in some 2,000 kids being taken away from their families who were seeking asylum.
We have the worst immigration laws in the entire world. You see about child separation. You see what's going on there.
President Trump is blaming Democrats, though the zero-tolerance policy isn't a law and is being carried out by his administration, arresting undocumented immigrants and separating them from their children.
Why wouldn't you bring children with you if you know you would be released and not prosecuted?
Images from Homeland Security show men, women, and children behind chain-link cages, some on bare floors.
We spoke to fathers whose children have been ripped from their arms, who have no idea when or if they will see their children again.
The battle over undocumented immigrants crossing the border into the U.S. rages on. New numbers from Health and Human Services show just under 12,000 kids in their custody, most of whom were unaccompanied minors. President Trump tweeting, "Big mistake made all over Europe in allowing millions of people in who have so strongly and violently changed their culture."
The United States will not be a migrant camp, and it will not be a refugee holding facility.
House Speaker Paul Ryan said the House will take up 2 immigration bills as early as this week. At this point, it's still unclear exactly what they'll say, but sources tell ABC News both will address the issue of families being separated. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
Here at home, a new streetscape is in the works for a portion of downtown Sarasota.
It's a stretch on North Palm Avenue that is known to flood during heavy rains. ABC7's Taylor Torregano joins us live at City Hall with details about this new project. Taylor?
Good evening, Jacqueline. Scott, we're talking about the street on the west end of Palm Avenue, starting at the alleyway north of Cafe Epicure and ending at that new hotel, Art Ovation. Take a look at these pictures presented to the commission by the Public Works Director that show what happens to this block when it rains. Today, after hearing the presentation, the City Commission decided to allocate $300,000 to not only prevent this flooding, but beautify the area as well. The project will include a repiping underground to update a drainage system that was installed over 50 years ago. The Commission challenged the Public Works Director to ensure that all of the potential problems for this project have been worked out before moving forward.
And we've got a pretty good understanding as to what could go wrong and the impact that a delay in this project could have to surrounding businesses that could end up resulting in them being out of business, them losing revenue, their customers not being able to get to them because we're having to reroute traffic.
Now, construction on this project is expected to begin at the end of next month, and it is expected to take about 4 months to complete. I'm live at City Hall. Taylor Torregano, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Taylor, thank you. Sarasota police are investigating an apparent drowning off of Lido Beach. It happened around 10 o'clock last night. Police say a man and a woman went swimming when they got caught in a rip current. The woman says she was swept away towards Big Pass, but she was not sure where the man went. It took her about an hour to make it back to shore. The man's body was later found on a beach nearby. Investigators do not suspect any foul play.
A law in the city of Venice outlining when and where cooking fires are acceptable in public parks is moving forward in City Council. The change comes after a recent beach fire at Service Club Park back in March. Nearly 70 feet of walkway was destroyed due to an illegal warming fire. The law says fires are prohibited in all parks, beaches, and recreational areas, except for cooking fires using the city-approved grills in designated picnic areas between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. The council will now consider that move next week.
Well, some of us may get some relief from the really hot weather today on the Sun Coast. Let's get a check on our weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Yeah, like a couple hundred it looks like right now with this one shower I'm going to show you. 89 right now. It's cooled. It was actually, it felt like 103 degrees just an hour ago. And now it's down to 99, so be careful out there if you're going to be outdoors during the extreme part of the day in the afternoons. The west wind's at 12. We have a sea breeze, and we're going to see that collision take place. You can see all these storms moving to the southwest, even one just generating lightning here in the last 10 minutes. This is going to kind of flare up a little bit more so here along the immediate coast as the sea breeze is kind of hung up right there near the coast. One lone shower. Let's go to it on our tower cam and show you that it's over Siesta Key. You can barely see it there right in the center of your screen, so it's going to cool off a few people, not many, as it moves off to the southwest. That's actually fading away a little bit right now. We'll go back to the maps and show you what's happening now as far as the latest goes with that one lone cell. You can see it right there near Siesta Key, just underneath the name. Again, pushing off to the southwest. So folks along Crescent Beach, don't worry. It's going to be around for maybe 10 minutes, and then it'll be moving on to the southwest. It should be, but it's starting to cover much of the village area there. It will anyway, all the way down to near the Point of Rock. So most of the folks will get a little taste of some light rain shower activity. And then what happens usually is the sun comes back out and all that comes up as steam, causes another pretty warm late afternoon. Well, much more on that coming up a little bit later as far as the rain chances go for the remainder of the end of spring, by the way. Summer officially begins this week. Scattered showers through the 9 o'clock hour, and then by 11 things should be calming down, but temperatures staying pretty warm. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. New developments about a popular Southside Village restaurant in Sarasota. Libby's Cafe and Bar will temporarily close for the next few months for some major remodeling. The restaurant owners plan to close down in 2 weeks and reconfigure the layout. The owners say they also plan to reduce the size of the restaurant by walling off and leasing out a section along the north wall to a tenant, perhaps a yoga studio. In the meantime, some neighboring businesses are disappointed to lose some of the business Libby's helps generate.
It does, really, especially for us here at Fifi's. Whenever ladies come for brunch or they meet up with their girlfriends during the day, they kind of come here and shop afterwards. It's kind of like a let's get brunch and go shopping, girls' day kind of thing.
Libby's plans to reopen for its 10th anniversary in November.
Well, ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern joining us now. And Richard, kind of a down day from the beginning to the end.
Absolutely. It was down 264 points like that this morning. We did finish with a triple-digit loss, although barely. We did very well considering how we got started. I'll spit it out, yes. Yes, it was in fact a down day from start to finish, although the damage at the end, not a big deal. And of course, we can blame it on tariffs, particularly over a weekend when there's all kinds of news going back and forth about tariffs. None of it, unfortunately, terribly positive. That being said, let's take a look at the final numbers for the day, and they're not so terrible. But there you see a loss of 103 points, 0.4%. The Dow closed at 24,987.47. That on volume of 901 million shares. The NASDAQ, that's the term we call flat. Take a look at that. Less than a 1 point gain. I did say gain, up 1/100th of 1%, closing at 7,747.02. That on volume of 1,993 million shares. The S&P down, but not very much, 0.2%, less than 6 points at 2,773.87. Well, if you've been dying to own shares of BJ's Wholesale Club, do I have news for you. BJ's is in fact going public, an IPO as it's called, an initial public offering. It was once a public company but went private in 2011. It's going to become public now at a price range of somewhere between $15 and $17 per share. There are 215 BJ clubs around the country, and of course one of them is right here on Cooper Creek Boulevard in Sarasota, and I see a young lady to my left nodding her head like maybe she's been there before. You never know. And the stock symbol, big surprise, BJ on the New York Stock Exchange. Interesting, right?
Richard, you've got a tax workshop coming up.
We do.
Help explain a complicated issue.
Exactly. Last week we talked about getting a digest, if you will, and we had so much response. We said people just don't understand the myths of the 2018 tax rules. So the 5 myths, one of them has to do with, oh yes, property taxes. How much can I deduct? Can I? Well, we'll talk about it. June 27th and 28th. Please send us an email, the Stern Group at rwbaird.com. Again, the Stern Group at rwbaird.com, or you can call our office, 941-906-2830. 638.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Coming up next.
Guys, look at that beast. Oh, yeah.
A local father and son capture a Burmese python in the Everglades, while they're now making it their mission to track down as many as possible.
And summer storms start this week. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will let us know how much rain we can expect. Plus, the new mental health condition that could be affecting you or your child.
The ABC7 Stock Report is sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
A type of snake that has no business being in Florida is now a threat to other wildlife in the Everglades. And now a father and son duo have made it their mission to track down as many Burmese pythons as possible. ABC7's Erica Jackson joins us live to share how one Sarasota family is helping reduce the number of pythons in the wild. Erica?
Scott, good evening. While many families are enjoying their summer vacation here at the park or at the beach, one Sarasota family is traveling through the state, hoping to come face to face with something many of us would try to avoid.
Oh! That's a nice mouth.
11-year-old Connor Peltier was nearly at a loss for words when he and his father, Tom, captured their first wild python in the Florida Everglades.
And he just started pulling it out, and he was like, get the bag, and I said, is it gonna fit in the bag? He's like, no, never mind, it's not gonna fit in the bag. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's huge.
And it was big, all right. The Burmese python measuring about 14 feet long. They found the snake during their 3-day invasive species tour, starting in Sarasota, traveling down the coast of Naples, through the Everglades, ending in Key Biscayne.
Yeah. Oh! That's a nice mouth.
I was scared that that thing was going to wrap around my dad's neck and like choke him out.
I know big snakes. I've worked with big snakes in the past.
Tom says they caught the python at one of Florida's 22 wildlife management areas, where the species can be killed at any time.
Whenever you catch one, sadly, and I hate this part, it has to be euthanized on the spot.
The python wasn't the duo's only big catch. Tom and Connor also captured a cottonmouth snake, giant cane toad, and a green anole during their adventure.
Oh my God, it's biting me.
The father and son say their trips are about more than just exploring the wild.
I just love like being with my dad and having fun, and I also love like catching the invasive species and helping all of our native wildlife.
Environment officials say an average of 3 pythons are removed from the wild every day, and hunters have removed a total of more than 1,000 invasive Burmese pythons since the state's elimination program started last year. Reporting live in Sarasota, Erica Jackson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Erica, thank you.
Well, I tell you, they are braver than I am. I would not go anywhere near those.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with those snakes, and you don't want to go too near lightning either. And speaking of capture, get a look at this photo. Captured by Val Vasilescu, and he caught this lightning strike last night, I believe, out over Sarasota Bay. There were a few lightning strikes out there. Again, he actually has it open for a little while and capturing this lightning, but nonetheless, you can see it stretching all the way up well past 30,000 feet. That lightning strike occurring last night as some storms developed along the sea breeze. Now, get a look at the Lakewood Ranch webcam. This is what we need to get red tide blowing offshore. We have this east to northeasterly wind, and that's what you're seeing there. Fair weather cumulus clouds moving toward the Gulf of Mexico, but then notice the last few frames here. We start to see some towering cumulonimbus, and they are starting to generate some lightning around town. Now, you can see that line. This is the east coast breeze. This is our typical pattern, but it's only going to be around one day, and then it goes away for the most part as some dry air settles in. That east coast breeze working its way all the way across to the west coast. Now, the sea breeze isn't all that strong right now, but it is there, and it is allowing some storms to fire off and get a little stronger. That one just south of Arcadia generating some lightning strikes, kind of outrunning the coverage there, and also into eastern portions of Manatee County. That one lone strike right there. So not everyone's going to see these showers and storms around. Siesta Key, still some light rain. Most of this is winding down now as it pushes off to the south and west as expected. We're not getting a lot of rough weather there, and it doesn't appear that that one's going to generate any lightning. It is weakening, but these definitely have a chance to, especially this particular area right here as it pushes toward Northport, Punta Gorda, and Port Charlotte. Well, in the tropics, we were watching a system last week, and there was some chances, very small, that it would develop. But look at all the moisture that it's going to be bringing on into Mexico and Texas as well as Louisiana. Heavy rains expected there as that warm, moist air and the tropical air mass continues to move on into that area. We're seeing the drier air settle in from the east. It's moving in from the Atlantic right now. And so don't look for much action here on the forecast as we take you through time on Tuesday. Things will stay rather sunny. It will still be very warm. Temperatures will top out into the low 90s tomorrow. It shouldn't be as humid, but we will still see a little bit of a northeasterly wind, so that means we'll cut down a little bit on that sea breeze front. That will be there. There'll be a few isolated showers around. We'll keep a 20% chance for a late day shower in the mix as we move through Tuesday and Wednesday. You'll notice by Wednesday, they start to get that onshore flow again. So things, as I said, aren't going to stick around long because this front comes down, pushes the high pressure ridge to the south. We get more of that onshore flow, and that means back to the west wind, and that means back to the onshore flow with the red tide too, which is occurring across parts of the Sun Coast. Look at these temperatures, 95 now in Tallahassee. It's 89 in Orlando, 88 in Miami, and 92 in Mayaca City. Even along the coast here with an east to northeasterly wind, we really tend to warm up a little bit more so than that west wind. The water temperature, a steamy 87 degrees, so not much relief there with the sea breeze, and 93 now in Punta Gorda, the same in Northport. For boaters tomorrow, not much wind for your sails out there, right around 5 knots. Seas will be less than 2 feet, and smooth conditions on the bays and inland waters. And the summer pattern, it looks like, will be here after summer officially starts. Summer starts on Thursday, just after 6 a.m., the official beginning, and then that should not be 200%. That'd be pretty good, though, 20%. And then we'll see a 40% chance for showers and storms Friday, 50% on Sunday, and Monday at 60%. So it looks like once we get through the next few days, the end of spring and summer starts, we'll start to get into our summer pattern. Back to you.
Okay, Bob, let's get a check on First Alert traffic right now. We're seeing some traffic backed up as you head east on Bee Ridge Road in Sarasota. This is just before you get to the I-75 interchange. The westbound ramp exiting onto Bee Ridge from the interstate also a little congested as well at this hour. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Scott. In health news tonight, the World Health Organization announcing a gaming disorder as a new mental health condition. Reed Binion explores how to tell if you or your child is addicted to gaming.
Screens and technology are everywhere. Using them for day-to-day tasks or being sucked into a video game for hours has become the new normal. And for some, the idea of unplugging is unthinkable, which could be why the World Health Organization has officially classified gaming disorder as a mental health condition.
It should be clearly defined behavioral pattern, which is of such intensity and of such nature that it takes precedence of other activities which have been important for an individual in the past.
No control over the behavior, even when knowing the consequences and impairment of interpersonal relationships, are also characteristics of this disorder.
I think it's really helpful to understand that once an addictive process takes hold of someone, they do lose control.
The WHO says that by classifying it as a disorder, health professionals and systems will hopefully be better equipped and prepared to treat patients who suffer from this condition. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Binion.
Salmonella outbreaks across the country are being linked to a popular cereal and pre-cut melons. Dozens of people in several states have gone to the hospital after eating Honey Smacks cereal tainted with salmonella. The CDC says more than 70 people have gotten sick in 31 states, none here in Florida though. The FDA is advising you to throw out any of the cereal regardless of the size or best buy dates. And on top of that, the salmonella outbreak is also linked to pre-cut melon. That is growing as well, spreading to 23 states now. It includes pre-cut melon sold at some Sprouts farmers markets, stores including the one here in South Sarasota. Coming up, a ceiling decoration crashes down on some tourists in China, and a pair of massive cooling towers come crashing down in Florida. The shocking video you don't want to miss when we come back.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
On average, an American household with at least one credit card struggles with over $15,000 in credit card debt. But right now, if you qualify for National Debt Relief's Debt Reset program, your debt balances and monthly payments will be reduced while you become debt-free in 24 to 48 months. Enroll now and there won't be any upfront costs or out-of-pocket expenses. To qualify for the Debt Reset program, you must have at least $10,000 or more in credit card debt, unsecured loan debt, collection debt, and/or medical bills. You must also be past due or struggling to make minimum monthly payments or considering filing for bankruptcy. If this sounds like you, avoid the serious consequences of bankruptcy and take advantage of National Debt Relief's Debt Reset program today and become debt-free in 24 to 48 months. Call now to see if you qualify. A debt relief counselor is available to assist you 24 hours a day.
Call 800-731-6432. That's 800-731-6432.
A frightening accident caught on camera at a tourist spot in northwest China. At least 9 people were injured when a ceiling decoration collapsed onto the escalator. Staff members and other tourists tried to free the victims from all that debris. Several people were taken to a hospital. The cause of the accident is now under investigation. Well, it's the end of an era in Jacksonville as 2 iconic cooling towers were brought down in a controlled implosion at a power plant. The towers were a part of the Jacksonville skyline since the 1980s. 1,500 pounds of dynamite and at least 2 miles of detonation cables were used to create the blast. Authorities say a Florida resident paid $6,000 for the privilege of pushing the plunger to begin that implosion.
A police chase in Arizona continued when the suspect lost control of his car and then spun out. He got out of the car and then ran off. While that's not so unusual, he probably thought he had the upper hand when he climbed a fence, except he probably wasn't expecting the trooper following him to jump headfirst over that fence after him. Within seconds, the suspect was caught, and that trooper's colleagues say they admire him for his efforts. Still to come on your Suncoast News, the controversy over how to alleviate traffic between Bradenton and Palmetto, why some people are against the state's proposal of a flyover bridge. Plus, the Anna Maria Island City Pier remains closed after it was damaged by Hurricane Irma, when the renovations are expected to be complete.
Get to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota for big savings during the Jeep Celebration event. Shop the area's largest selection of new 2018 Jeep Wranglers, or get the most awarded SUV of all time, a new Jeep Cherokee, for as little as $19,999. Find the path to your next great adventure in the all-new Jeep Compass for just $17,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Metabolic and bariatric surgery is changing Suncoast lives. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we'll meet a couple who knew their health was in danger due to their weight. We'll find out what they did to change. Then we'll meet the creator of the new Florida Studio Theater musical review, Carol's Kings, and hear a preview. Plus, we give watercolor painting a try, and Darwin's evolutionary cuisine is in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.